stay with me.
My name's Steve, and this is my goat, Leroy Brown, and we're walking across North America from Seattle to New York. I want to get here, and I'm in Kansas right now. Together, we're trying to raise $200,000 for an orphanage that my best friend started in Nairobi, Kenya. Our goal is to buy a farm so we can be self-sufficient. My personal kind of narrative was I was a musician. I played music, touring full-time, you know, around the world really. In a little Christian band that nobody knew. I tell everybody we toured around the world because no one would ask us back. We just had to keep finding new places to keep going, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't ever like, oh, these guys are awesome, bring them back. We just had to keep finding new places. During that time, I kind of had gotten bored with music, and I really got bored with entertaining Christians. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got bored with that kind of culture, you know? And it doesn't make me lose my faith, or it didn't make me, like, doubt Jesus like I think so many people do when they get bored of church or church culture. So I remember I was in San Francisco at a church, and I was looking at a magazine, and on the inside of the magazine was a Calvary Chapel church magazine. I didn't even read the article, but I saw this lady feeding a child in an orphanage, and then I saw this other lady just playing with one on the next page. Didn't read the article. I literally took pictures of it with my phone and posted it to my Facebook page saying, like, I want to do this, you know? And that was long before the walk. That was long before my best friend was already starting this orphanage. It was just, for me, I think the Lord was planting seeds in my mind for years down the road. You know, I got to this point where I'm like, one of those honest moments before the Lord, you know? I'm standing on the edge of the pier. The sun rarely does it shine in Seattle, but it's shining off the water so bright I have to keep my eyes closed. I got my tea, and I'm literally thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, God, I need you to answer me right now. Like, do you want me on the team? Do you love me? Like, do you want me here? Because if I'm just a problem, if I've sinned too much and you can't use me, then I'm done. I'll go back to music and just live the Christian culture life. But if you can use me, I'm all in. And you know, I'm crying, and I'm just like pouring out my heart, and I'm like, okay, you know, this is when you're supposed to show up, you know? And it was nothing, it was silence. That Wednesday, I was at the church youth group, and one of the kids there had recognized me from a band that I was in, and he wanted to go out to coffee afterwards. So we go out to coffee, and he's kind of sharing things with me, and I'm, you know, telling him like, oh, don't do that, because this, you know, it's kind of just different things that I've experienced, and he wanted to be a musician, and I was telling him kind of the problems that come along with it. We ended up praying together. I get back to the church, and after this coffee, after youth group, and then I'm walking through the parking lot to see my friend Sarah, and we're gonna get in our cars and go our separate ways. And as I'm walking through the parking lot, I say out loud, I find it crazy how the Lord can take my past and make a difference in somebody else's future. And right there, it was like the Lord was using my own words to say, I can use you. It's not over. I'm not done with you. And I got in my van and I just wept. I just cried and I said, okay, Lord, whatever it is, I don't care. Whatever it is, I'm all in. I didn't know that it was going to involve a goat and walk across America. I would have dialed it back a little. But, I mean, really right then I made the decision that I want my life to be more than just get me saved and get me to heaven. Like, I want my life to make a difference. So, fast forward, you know, this idea of walking across America came up. My friend had moved to Africa to start a rehab for adults in the slums of Nairobi. He comes back and he just is like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm trying to start my own orphanage." He's like, "Let's do it." He's out there right now. We got 34 kids on a half acre. We're about to buy 2 acres. And yeah, it's been a process.
God and Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Here's what I'll say. What I think the lie that we're told as Christians that we subconsciously believe is that it's a sacrifice to give. It's a sacrifice to do all these things. I literally, this is all I own. The rest fits on a goat's back, which sounds weird. I've never been happier. Touring around the world, playing big venues and doing all this stuff never was satisfying. But when I wake up in the morning knowing that every single day the kids are being fed, they're getting education, they're getting the gospel, they're gonna grow up and be the next generation. I tell everybody, like, safety and the easy life is like an anchor, you know? And we're like ships, like we're supposed to go out and sail the seas as Christians. We're supposed to get out there and weather the storms. We're supposed to go out there and discover Jesus, the gospel, and share it with everybody. We have these anchors that are good for a time. You sit in the bay, you put your anchor down, it keeps you stable for a little bit. But that's not how you're supposed to live your life. That's not it. If that is how you live your life, if you live your life for easy and for safety and for security, for the best insurance that the company you work for could have, for the most money in savings, then you're missing it. Man, you are handsome. He's a handsome goat, isn't he? You are handsome. Smile.